All right. Well, my local is going. My soundboard is ready. I think
Yeah.
I dare
Oh,
say
we're
we
going.
can-
Don't worry. He already clicked the button.
Yeah, I clicked the
Wow.
button.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
An hour and 20 minutes late to his own recording, and now he's rushing us.
Non-consensual podcasting.
Yeah, mostly into like consensual, non-consensual podcasting. It's
Yeah.
when you just have like a explicit relationship that the podcast is non-consensual. You know,
Isn't there someone you forgot to ask?
So, God damn it! You know what's funny is Corinne told me that her boss listens to us, so I can't wait for her to open up this episode. Hi, Corinne's manager, and be absolutely horrified by what we've done.
I mean, the thing is, like, this stuff follows you. We had an episode of Writtenology, the Trash Future spinoff, about books. We had an author on. I was very invested in, like, you know, this author liking me and, you know, me just, like, you know, being impressive and smart sounding. And we get on the thing. The first thing she says to me is, "Oh, this is the podcast with the bit about the dildo peloton." And I go, "Yeah, I guess so."
Yeah.
Well, hi.
Hi. This is not the podcast with the dildo peloton. This is the podcast about putting out oil fires with cum.
Yeah, this is the podcast about a horse
It's fine. If you want to listen to the very clearly not safe for work engineering disasters podcast, we are smart and informative, except when we're talking about cum firefighting.
Oh, not safe for work would be a way better title for this than well.
Oh man, that's a good point.
We fucked it. We fucked it. Just when
we should have called safety third, not safe for work.
Fuck. God damn, we've only been doing this for like
welcome to safety third / not safe. We'll just add it on. We'll just do it. We'll just do it and or. It doesn't matter. We do this shit. We do this shit on the fly anyway. Yeah. So for those of you who are not my parents and or Corinne's manager, yeah. So tell all your friends about there's your problem, also known as not safe for work. We'll just do it in brackets.
We're not renaming the podcast.
No, I think we are.
Too much work. It's a
coup. It's a coup. I have seized the radio stations.
Oh God,
crisp Liam.
Yeah. Well, I left part of my normal mic stand, the one that I paid far too much money for from Rode. I left it down the shore.
Oh my God.
So I'm here speaking into a $10 mic stand into my $300 mic.
So far in the past, like,
why are you
4 or 5 recordings?
He's the reason we're starting an hour and 20 minutes late.
In the past 4 or 5 recordings, all of your recording equipment has never managed to be in the same room as you.
I'm very silly.
You have the recording rig. Silly. You know that thing about helicopters where it's like, you know, 10,000 parts flying in loose formation? That's your recording rig.
Well, here's the thing, right? Is I always work to carry as little of it as possible. So I'm down to running my USB-C headphones, so I don't have to take my big Sennheiser 6XXs down ashore, and then I am running this out of a Focusrite Scarlett 212. So I pack that in my mic, and that's all I use. And if it were up to me, I want to be very clear on this. I would be using like one of those $9 USB mics you get on Amazon.
Yeah, you would be recording this with a microphone, well, a pair of headphones with a microphone in them that you bought at a gas station.
I have done that, actually, I believe. Not on this program, but I believe I've done that on 10,000 Losses.
When you go down the shore, you're driving in a car with lots of space.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to pack so lightly.
Roz, you've traveled with me, right? You know how bad I am at packing, Roz.
Well, you also yell at me for having a huge suitcase, despite the fact that it's not that big.
It's not that big. I just like
it's
giving you shit.
It's not that heavy either.
It's my
married couple.
My greatest joy in life is just annoying you through whatever train station we're in, following you around and complaining that the breakfast here isn't very good, and I remember when it used to be better.
Yes.
30th Street Station. I'm looking at you.
30th Street Station is completely fucked right now.
They ruined all of the food. There's no fucking bar. You can't do anything. I want to be able to eat at a train station. I want to have a nice leisure. What is the point of a grand train hall if there's nothing in there? That's ridiculous.
Yes.
Wait, so you want to talk about? You want like the Daniel Moynihan like train hall to have like a steakhouse in the middle of it?
No, I don't need a steak. I need a bar.
Oh, that's
Okay.
that
Third Street Station
Denver
doesn't even
Union
have a
Station
bar
is really
anymore.
fucked up.
It doesn't even have a bar anymore. There's nowhere to go in Penn Station.
Because
Nowhere
of
to
you
go.
fucking degenerates.
What? No, we were keeping the bar open.
Exactly.
Not because of us. In spite of us, the bar closed.
Well, it closed because Bridgewater's was the kitchen was on top of the staircase for the underpass to the subway.
Ridiculous, man. What is the point of a grand, like, magnificent waiting hall if I can't also get a nice cocktail to look at the people?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that closing down a bar and not replacing it was a bad decision.
Stop making everything utilitarian. I deserve to indulge.
You deserve your little treats. I think we can agree on that.
I deserve my little treats. All right. So
the
let's continue to not introduce the podcast. Let's continue to
nothing. It's nothing. We're filling time for a reason.
Hello and welcome to Well, There's Your Problem. It's a podcast about engineering disasters with slides. I'm Justin Rosniak, the person who's talking right now. My pronouns are he and him. Okay, go.
I'm Alice Goldberg-Kelly. I'm the person who's talking now. My pronouns are she and her. Yay, Liam.
Yay, Liam. Hi, I'm Liam Anderson. My pronouns are he and him. And I'm the person who is frantically trying to get through all of your Patreon DMs. There are a lot of them. Wait your turn.
Someone's yelling at us to check the P.O. box, too.
Okay, I'll do that tomorrow.
All right.
I have the key. I didn't lose it this time.
Thank you. Put it on a key ring. Or
it's on a key ring. It's on. It is. Well, don't thank me. Thank Corinne because she did that.
Thank you, Corinne. So you may be aware that there is a lot of news.
A lot of it. So much.
A lot of news happening.
Mm-hmm. And so much so, in fact, that we got quite behind with the news that we like to do every second.
We're sorry.
Yeah.
Every episode.
The fuck is this?
So what we've chosen to do this time is a very special episode where the subject is the goddamn news.
Oops, all news.
Whoops, all news. Oh, that's not right.
Yeah. We're not going to do this again unless we feel like it.
Unless there's like a lot of news. It's like Lenin said, right? You know, there are fucking decades where weeks happen, and there are weeks where decades happen. And this was a week where decades happened. And we're going to get into some of those decades. News theme.
News. It's a
we got to talk about this one.
Big ass train wreck in India. Real big train wreck.
Horrific.
Huge.
Uncommon that you managed to involve 3 trains in one wreck, but they managed it.
Yeah, this like 300 people I think have died. And they injured like 1,000.
Yes.
This is on the east coast of India in Odisha. I'll be honest, I do not fully understand what's supposed to have happened with these 3 trains.
So my understanding is that there was a freight train, and it somehow sideswiped or was sideswiped by an express passenger train. That express passenger train then derailed and smashed into another express passenger train coming the other way.
Oof.
Yeah.
And they said this was a signaling error right now. Like, they said that the interlocking changed, but then they said that, like, one of the signals had been manually overridden, which I don't even...
Probably shouldn't have done that override. Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Yeah, here we are.
This is India, you know, where they got big trains that go very fast and they're very full of people. So, you know, this is not a great situation to be in.
Yeah, they've suggested that maybe it's like a wire got cut during digging, which, you know, call 811, or a short, but like the interlocking failed and that it routed this the Coromandel Express towards Chennai, which is going like 80 miles an hour. It routes it into the back of a freight train in a siding, and then it like spills it onto the other track where the last 3 coaches get hit by the express in the opposite direction.
That's absolutely fucking terrifying.
Yes.
I'm just looking at this picture just fucks me up.
Oh yeah, it's real bad.
You ever watch videos of Indian trains? What strikes you is not so much the speed, but the violence of the speed. Because you know, it's just this brick electric locomotive going like 110 miles an hour. There's dust and dirt everywhere spewing up around it. It's like, and then all the cars are huge.
Yeah, and crowded as well.
Yes,
and this
very
is
crowded.
part of our legacy. This is part of this is Britain's fault. Because if you want to do the sort of like smug, well, we gave them the railways thing. You got to be responsible for the ways in which the railways are terrible, and this is one of them.
This is horrific. Yeah. So to I almost said circle back. We're not doing corporate lingo on here.
Circle back, run this up the flagpole to synergize this piece of news.
Do we using the phrase "hook up in uncomfortable ways"
to make out with this piece of news?
It means anything from making out to anal in a way that truly boggles the mind.
to reach around this piece of news.
Yes, we must give rusty trombone to the news. Why would the signal have been manually interfered with? Was what it sounded like? Am I wrong on that?
I think that was the initial suspicion, and then they've sort of said, no, we don't think it could have been sabotaged.
They might have just been trying to move a train in an unconventional way.
What, the Sunset Limited in the 50s, right? And that happened in the Sunset, or that was like the 90s, not the 50s.
The Sunset Limited was the 90s, yeah, but that was due to a damaged bridge.
Yeah, all anyone will say, sort of like, as far as the Indian government goes, is technical reasons, which kind of is expansive,
Sometimes you will override the signal if you have to move the train in sort of a controlled fashion, which is not outside of usual operating procedures. It's not like unheard of, but then you need like permission from the dispatcher. Everyone's got to know what's going on, so on and so forth. In this case, it seems unlikely that you would do a move where you're passing a signal of danger in a controlled fashion at 110 miles an hour. That's more of like a 10-mile-an-hour thing.
Yeah, and I mean, electricity sometimes mischievous. Sometimes you get the rogue electron or whatever. And you like get a short in a circuit or something. This kind of like electric signaling is it's fail safe mostly, but
trains are hard.
Trains are hard. Trains are really difficult, and when you have a lot of like very crowded trains running very fast in close proximity, then even if this happens like 0.1% of the time, that still kills a shitload of people.
And Indian Railways have a pretty good safety record overall of not killing people who are on the train. Killing people who aren't on the train is a different thing entirely.
Oh, sure.
They do that a lot
for that battle.
Yeah.
Trains are designed to keep you safe if you're in the train. Not so much if you're on the roof of the train or you're standing in front of the train.
Standing on the tracks, just milling around. Yeah.
Standing next to the train. I mean, that's sort of like, that's underinvestment for the most part, because that's stuff that you can fix with even just like putting fences up, like public education, having the seats available that people don't have to sit on the fucking roof.
It must be awful to be like a train driver in India, because you're killing so many people like on a daily basis.
I mean, that's a lot of like developing country like train experiences too, especially like some of the like right of way and stuff where it's like going through like right next to people's houses and stuff like that.
Oh,
sure.
It's gone through a market. It's gone through.
Exactly.
It's gone through. It's gone through a soccer stadium. It's gone through. I don't know, an airport runway.
It's doing all the stuff from like police squads. It's going through the bowling alley. I mean, I guess it's worse if you're driving like an express train in India, because the training there seems to be to just gun it, right? Which really, like, you have no reaction time for any of this stuff at all.
I would imagine that they have pretty good infrastructure, all things considered. Maybe they want to invest in some fences.
You'd figure.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the Indian government is corrupt and fascist in a lot of ways, and much like any number of governments, beside those two things, which many numbers of other governments still are, also does not really give a shit about the railways. Weird how those things are correlated. Turns out fascists not actually that interested in making the trains run on time. Fascism tends to make your trains much worse, to be honest.
They're road guys. They all want roads.
Yeah, because that's modernity, you know, as you drive on the sort of, and that's sort of universal, whether that's, you know, the Trans-Amazonica in Brazil, or whether you want to, you know, drive from one side of India to the other. That's the good shit, because that means that you're sort of like, you're coming up in the world. Fucking sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, invest in railways, please.
Invest in
so
railways.
This does not happen.
And railway safety.
Yes.
Yeah. Next slide. Do I
In
have the
other
right button
news.
here? Meanwhile, in our, you know, nice developed countries where nothing bad ever happens, New York City was destroyed again.
Oh yeah, everyone
as
was panicking.
Philadelphia, not fun.
No, we were fine.
Yeah, so
It didn't
people
even
with
go
asthma
orange.
were not fine, my guy. You have allergies. I'm amazed you were okay. But yeah, Corinne did not have a good time. Bucks County correspondent Tom Payne did not have a good time. I was fine, as I am simply built different. But
I wanted to see some orange. I didn't see any orange.
I wanted
the sky to look like the goddamn president.
There's a Cheeto in New York City,
in the goddamn atmosphere. So the way
I
that this
have seen Home Alone too.
Apologies to Jake Flores, who I stole that joke from.
The way that this started, by the way, has to do with carbon offsets. You know how we've spoken before about how carbon offsets are fake and bullshit? And that you can't actually, you know, we talked about old growth forest and how you can't replace it with monoculture at length. Well, it turns out that in order to make people feel better about their consumption, one of the things that we've been doing is replacing old growth forest with monoculture. This is so that you can have a little like sustainably sourced sticker on the thing, or so that a company can say, okay, we do build the X37B puppy killer, right? But we are a carbon neutral company, because as it turns out, we paid a bunch of Quebecois guys to plant
the worst kind of guys, I might add.
Yeah, we paid them to plant a bunch of pine trees like in a line. And then, you know, fucking Jean-Francois or whatever carelessly discards a cigarette. One of these things goes up like a fucking bomb. And you know, all of these guys are left looking at this monoculture that has no way of resisting fire, but also sort of no like a healthy reaction to fire, just burning the fuck down, going Calice tabarnak, je veux exploser le skidoo, right? And then all the smoke from that. Fucking,
I just was not ready for it. I was not ready for it.
Hostie de tabarnak de calice de smoke, and it fucking the smoke comes off of this shit and it goes south. And you know, in a way that is visible from space. Inhaling wildfire smoke is really fucking bad for you, even at like low concentrations, because there's a bunch of weird shit in there. And like even big forest fires aren't meant to sort of like burn this way, right? This is like a product of climate change, it's a product of monoculture, it's a product of all of these things, which meant that the air quality in New York City and a bunch of other places, including Philly, dropped like a stone overnight. And you get this kind of like cool orange Cheeto effect.
Yes. My understanding is a lot of this is sort of, you know, monoculture is an aspect of it, but a lot of it is just, it's really hot and dry in the Canadian Shield. And there's a lot of boreal forest to burn, and they don't really fight those fires in the same way they do in, let's say, California, because no one lives there. You know, you have a couple of First Nation settlements. You make sure the fire stays away from there. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to fight these fires, because people up there, they don't have California brain.
So they don't live in it. It'll burn itself out. I imagine that.
Yeah. They're like, okay, this is fine. It's natural. Let's not put any effort into fighting it, as opposed to California, where like everyone has decided, oh my God, I love nature so much, so I'm going to build a cabin on 4 acres of tinder, and you know, and then in the process destroy nature, but also in the process forcing them to fight every single goddamn fire that happens, so that you can, you know, live your quiet life of nature. you know, at the expense of massive amounts of firefighting infrastructure.
Well, see, there's nothing says a quiet life of nature like a bunch of USFS engines like at the end of your driveway 4 times a year spraying water onto like
it is just massive amounts of fire retardant. Yeah.
It's like I really feel connected to nature when I see the fucking B-52 that's been converted into a firebomb and go over.
Exactly. I just love being here with the squirrels and the birds, which have been dyed red.
Right.
The simple, quiet life. You know, I'm holistically connected to nature.
Lots of cardinals out here today, huh?
They're all
just a bunch of sparrows covered.
Dark.
Just a bunch of sparrows covered in fire retardant.
We gotta do the wildfires episode soon, but like I don't know. We're in the middle of like what passes for a heat wave here. Americans get kind of shitty about it because they're like, it's 29 degrees. It's like 87, I think.
But aren't you guys on the same latitude as the Alaskan Panhandle?
I am on the same latitude as Anchorage, and it has been 27 degrees for the last week. It will be 27 degrees for the next few months. There is not a cloud in the fucking sky, and all of the houses are built to insulate, but only in the hot way, which is cool. I didn't think that was like thermodynamically possible, but they manage. I am
That's
going
how my house
insane.
is built too.
And
I imagine.
The thing about this is it gives me anxiety in a couple of different ways. The first way it gives me anxiety is that it's not even July yet, and it's hot. Like it's like officially a heat wave, right? Wait until we get into August. The second thing that gives me anxiety is knowing that it's going to be worse every year of the rest of my life.
Hooray!
I don't care for that. I don't care for that knowledge. But you know what? What really sort of like makes me feel better, what I can take comfort in these dark times, is knowing that no one who is responsible for making this happen will ever face anything other than the best possible consequences, where they all get to retire.
They all get to live, right?
And live in sort of like air-conditioned,
blanked up like Mussolini. See? I'm making Devin's job easier.
It's real fucking bad.
It feels real bleak. You know that Simpsons thing? This is the worst day of your life. This is the worst day of my life. The worst day of your life
so far.
It's been Philly has been mostly tolerable. Although it's June, it's like 67 out. So I assume that we are about to be overrun by some sort of horrific climate change. It's pretty fucking depressing.
I haven't even installed my air conditioner this year. It's been pretty balmy.
Just wait till July when it's 97 every day, and you got to replace those beer cans.
Yep.
So people, as I understand it, in New York, while this was really heavy, were like staying indoors and like masking, which is good. But like, it's still gonna fuck you up if you have if you're very old, very young. If you have like
my parents,
existing conditions, which is a lot of people, by the way. That's I know we always say that as like a thing. It's not a throwaway thing. That's a lot of fucking people. But
long COVID ain't no joke.
No. But one thing that was funny though was the way that rich people in Manhattan dealt with it for the first day when it hadn't really sunk in yet. There are some gorgeous photos of people doing like fucking Tai Chi at an equinox on the roof of a skyscraper, and the sky it looks like tomato soup.
I don't understand how you can do that without getting such intense vertigo you just fall off the building.
It's not everyone gets vertigo like you do, man.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you. I get
I would instantly fall off the building.
I'm just saying that not everybody does. I absolutely I cling to Roz like a newborn koala.
Yeah, there's a bridge near me that like it's not even that high, but anytime I walk over, I'm over it. I'm like, ooh, fuck.
I don't love being on my roof. You know, I'm just like, oh, that's quite a drop, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm more of like a sort of a second story guy. That's the ideal height for me. Anything higher is crappy. Anything lower, then people look in your window.
You could do the London thing of having like a basement flat where people can look down into your shit.
I don't like that idea because then you die in Superstorm Sandy.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I want to avoid that. I'm not a big fan of basement apartments. Despite what the Yimbys say.
With the orange sky descending and the sort of like the blue water rising, New York City is going to look like a Rothko painting in a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jay-Z can collect it right before we all go down in smoke.
Yes.
I've been listening to a lot of Jay-Z recently. Watch the Throne is a terrific album.
Not really a huge Jay-Z fan. I mean, the thing is, I think mostly about how it should have been him instead of Big L, because I just go back and listen to his verse on Monster and tell me that I'm wrong. Anyway, I'm not.
I think he's gotta change his name though to just Jay because they got rid of the Z Train.
Just Jay.
Was that?
Yeah.
Just Jay. Yeah. I can see that. Well, eventually all of this will be underwater. New York City will be destroyed for an nth and final time. And we can do a live show there on like a big boat, maybe.
Yeah, or like a
this is gonna be a tourist thing. Dive the wrecks of Old Manhattan, you know?
Yeah.
Post-apocalyptic sort of thing. Yeah.
There's a great Aaron West song where he talks about everything in New York being reclaimed by the sea. And as somebody who hates New York, I highly recommend the song Green Like the G Train. No, is it? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's off the Bittersweet EP. Go listen.
Not important. We all have Heat Madness, or possibly you have Wildfires Madness.
I mean, it is obviously very fucking depressing to listen to people be like, this is normal, in the same way that like, people. I was talking to my mom today about. She's like, it hasn't felt this bad since 1968, where we were convinced that Richard Nixon was basically going to roll tanks down Pennsylvania Avenue.
I'm kind of nostalgic for your 60s and 70s environmental shit, like Love Canal or like Silent Spring or whatever, where you were like, okay, well the government is destroying all of the environment, right?
Right.
Whereas now you do that and you have data, like you have evidence. Right. You're not just like, oh, it's bad in this one place.
It feels bad, right. Right.
I read an article in The Guardian this morning. There's a guy, he did the soundtrack for Apocalypse Now, and then basically this is the thing, like doing one cool thing in the 70s or 80s meant you'd like now have infinity money. So he could just do whatever he wanted. And what he wanted was bioacoustics. So he does this thing where like since the 70s he's just been going out into the field and just doing sound recording and recording soundscapes of like wildlife sounds. And he has this exhibition in San Francisco right now, which I really hope comes to London because I want to see it, or hear it rather. But he talks about how, everything's getting quieter because all the shit's fucking dying. Like you used to go out for like 10 hours and you would get 1 hour of usable material. Now it's like 1,000 hours to do that because everything is so much quieter.
That makes sense.
Because we're killing all the insects, and then that's killing off all the birds, and so everything is much quieter, and there's much less like distinctiveness in the sort of like sound landscape, and some of the habitats just don't exist anymore either. So I think about that, and I feel very, very positive.
Yeah, I would say it's very I like to imagine. Obviously, I was talking to Corinne about this, about people, the ways in which people are very comfortable with being racist. A friend was talking about being at a cookout or something, and people were just being like super fucking racist and super fucking transphobic. And Corinne was talking about the guilt she feels, about like, I feel like I just like am overwhelmed trying to help people and this and that. And it's like, then you realize you're in the minority of people who even give a shit that much. And it's just like, oh, we're fucked, aren't we?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very tough. It's very hard. It's very just frustrating. And these people are never going to suffer consequences. But they do have names and addresses if you want to get arrested.
Not to bring it back to COVID, right? Because I'm not one of these people who's like, we should stay locked down forever, right?
No, you got in a lot of trouble for it.
I did. But I think a lot about in terms of like how ordinary people, like normal people, react to this stuff, and how we've kind of like lost the capacity for empathy in some ways, or maybe we just never had one. I don't know.
I'll buy that. No, I think we've lost a lot of meaningful ways.
Do you remember like before lockdown, but when shit was getting really bad and like everyone knew it was getting really bad?
January, February 2020, yeah.
Exactly. You had like students, like college students and stuff, going on vacation to these like massive pool parties and resorts and stuff.
Yes.
All giving each other COVID and then getting interviewed, and like a girl with the most fucked up voice you've ever heard being like, yeah, I actually have COVID. And that was just like, that was cool, right? Remember that? What if we had that same level of decision making? What if we applied that to like everything else as well?
Yes.
It's just such a nihilistic way to view the world as basically just a thing I can extract more and more out of, whether it be human beings or whether it be the earth itself. It's just such a depressingly, just a so grim way to look at things. I don't know. I know that we often use this podcast as basically group therapy. It's very,
hopefully for you too, listener.
It's exhausting, and you're not a bad person for being burnt out. But what you have to do is stay pissed off all the time, and turn turn those clapping hands into angry bunched fists.
Yeah.
And then when people are protesting your kid's story time, what you do is you go there with an M4 and you announce your presence. We'll say, I didn't say shoot anyone. I said announce your presence. I said announce your presence. I am not telling you to kill anyone who's protesting or drag story time. But I'm just saying, and I will leave that to the listener.
You can serve a valuable community security role.
Get a halberd. Really scare the shit out of these people.
Get a halberd, get a Morian. Show up to drag queen story time in your Swiss Guard outfit.
Yeah, protecting.
It is pretty funny when these right wing guys go out to protest like a drag queen story hour or something or other, and there's like people there from John Brown Gun Club or Socialist Rifle Association or Pink Pistols or whatever, and they're like, "But those guys aren't supposed to have guns. We're supposed to have the guns."
Yeah, guess what, motherfucker? It goes both ways. We will not stand for by erasure. So what? Yeah, I do like the idea of. I'm giving away a free shirt idea. Protect trans kids, and it's 2 crossed halberds.
Pretty good. That's pretty good. If anyone wants to form a sort of like a Shiltron, if anyone wants to form like a squad of pikemen to protect drag queen story time, wherever that's legal to carry a pike. Texas is legal to carry a sword. Yeah. Texas legalized swords not too long ago.
Swords, Pennsylvania carry.
Pennsylvania Halberd Association.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, just in general terms for Americans, if you have to live with the Second Amendment, you may as well get your end out of it too. Like, blessing and a curse, benefit and a hazard. If you have to be around people who can shoot you, you may as well protect yourself as best you can.
Let me ask you, I'm on the American Knife and Tool Institute webpage. Now, do you think a halberd counts as a knife?
It's a knife on a stick when you think about it.
Well, fucking home rule charter. Any knife or other cutting instrument which can be used as a weapon that has a cutting edge similar to that of a knife, no tool or instrument commonly or ordinarily used in a trade, profession, or calling, shall be considered a cutting weapon while actually being used in the acts of exercise of that trade, profession, or calling. I mean, being a halberdsman.
That's a calling. That's a calling.
That's a
the
calling.
Pope's got him. I mean, what else do you want?
Right. And this is a very Catholic city. You could probably get away with carrying a halberd. Listener, I implore you to find out.
Yeah, find out in the sense of research, not find out in the sense of fuck around and.
No, but do protect trans kids with halberds.
Yeah, I think we can agree on that where it's legal.
No, never mind. Sorry, Devin.
All right.
What's next in news?
Hey, Pat Robertson died.
Speaking of fucking around and finding out,
suck that shit. Although I did read a very interesting article from I forget where it was. You can find it about the 700 Club's contract with what was formerly Fox Family was then ABC Family, is now Freeform, owned by the Disney Corporation, where it's basically totally ironclad, and Disney does its best to like stash it. But yeah, Disney pays Pat Robertson's family tons of money to air his show where he rips off poor people in exchange for the worst conservative commentary you've ever heard. I'm very glad personally that he's dead. Pat Robertson, I piss on your grave.
A thing that he once said, by the way, which sticks with me, is he tried with a bunch of other evangelicals to get fucking same-sex marriage to campaign against its legalization in Scotland. And when that failed, he said, in Scotland, you can't believe how strong the homosexuals are. Which I think they should put that on the road sign driving north from Berwick. Falchigo Alba, you can't believe how strong the homosexuals are.
When
Pat Robertson, noted Lexingtonian.
Yeah. Oh, you can go to Regent's University and then on the steps. We in my home county of York, Pennsylvania, we have a little town called Dover, which wanted to teach intelligent design. This was defeated at the Supreme Court. And Pat Robertson said that Dover is like a godless, sinful place. And it's like, yeah, it is, but not for the reasons you fucking think, bud.
What I want to know is how soon after this photo was taken did he die? Because it can't have been long, right? Like,
this dude looks like he smoking that shit that killed Jerry Falwell.
The ripe old age of 93.
Because the good die young and bastards live forever. Where is Kissinger?
He looks like they injected Alfred E. Newman with the progeria syndrome.
He looks kind of pickled.
Yeah.
Not like Keith Richards, but you know.
I mean, I think the thing is, right, I hesitate to wish hell on anyone, right? And I just I think it would be funny for Pat Robertson to die and contend with being in Muslim heaven. I think that would be a good time. I would want to see that. I think it's reasonable even if you're a bit of a universalist, right? Even if you think that hell is like empty or almost empty, right? I think you are allowed to get some Schadenfreude out of like this dude dying and being like, damn, guess I was wrong about
that guy
everything.
Specifically is in hell.
Yeah. All right. The fun one about, these people have names and addresses is I have walked by his house several times in my life.
Yeah. Most recently in the middle of the night with a halberd.
It was weird. It was weird how you were carrying one at each. Ross dual wielding halberds. Hey Pat, why don't you come outside, pussy?
Yeah, and the cause of death, right, was like heart failure. But what they don't mention on the death certificate was that was like proximate to a halberd threatening.
Yes. No, unfortunately, I believe he moved to Virginia Beach. He moved away from Lexington
to join the SEALs.
So, yeah, Lexington, Virginia, not Lexington, Kentucky.
Pat Robertson with a big fucking like bone frog tattoo, working out in like an open gym in Virginia Beach.
But he was like quite literally down the street from where my grandparents lived.
And I believed
today, a lot of doxing Roz's grandparents.
Believed a lot of repulsive things, and now he is dead.
Yeah.
But like, this is the thing. We're sort of doing an in memoriam segment from this point on in the podcast because we've had a lot of like little seasonings of deaths of celebrity.
Where is Kissinger?
Yeah,
I was asking that. I truly was. And because he just turned 100. And
had a whole
still
birthday
alive.
party. My mother called me to curse him out.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing is, we've all got that one that we're waiting for. Yeah. And in my case, the bottle of champagne was open when Blair dies. But Kissinger, he's been denying us for too long. He's been edging.
Edging.
Been gooning.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's gooning.
got to. Thank you.
The Kissinger Goon Cave.
Stop
it's horrible. We all know what that means.
Stop it. Stop it.
You can trace it. You can like pandemic, like test and trace your way around when each of us became aware of it, like through the different podcasts or just being online.
Yeah,
I think I may be patient zero of gooning.
Why can't we ever just have a normal, nice podcast where we don't talk about or fucking gooning? I just one of these days we're gonna have the family friendly fucking WTYP story hour in which no one dies or is covered in semen or poop.
Maybe. Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah, that'll be
Get
right
out the
after
big
fucking
Nickelodeon slime doohickey, except it's full of...
Except the slime is cum. Yeah, I got
No.
Bukkake on a massive industrial scale.
Devin,
Yes.
darling, if you can cuss in, please, the Katy Perry getting slimed in the face by the Nickelodeon slime box, that would be ideal.
Oh, God.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Oh. You gotta wonder how much cum you'd need to get, right? Like,
It's
we're talking like I thought we were just talking like horse. Well, no, if you had like a horse farm, you could probably get like a decent amount of cum.
You can't afford horse cum, like genuinely.
No. I know that. I'm not talking like good race horses. I'm just talking horses
like shit.
Yeah, I'm talking like bunk oil, right? Like I'm talking like bunker cum, right? You know what I mean? Like whatever the horse cum equivalent of diesel fuel is.
Diesel is more highly refined than bunker fuel.
Yeah,
so.
bunker fuel. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
The life cycle of the horse you're envisioning here is the horse is like raised and trained, is like jerked off a bunch of times, goes to like the Kentucky Derby, falls at the first thing, and is then shot. Right?
No, my horses aren't even making it that far. These are like just nice little like birthday party horses, right? Like you just get a horse and you put a little horn on its head for a unicorn. These horses, I'm just like, no, you know what? Let's move on. Why don't we just move on?
Yes, I've put a new news on the screen. Thank you.
You're welcome. Lighting a candle on Trans Day of Remembrance here.
Yeah. Yep. Teddy Kaczynski died.
Yes.
Our most notable Pole.
Yes. Yes, a famous Polish American. Yeah.
We lost. We're down to like one literate Polish American after this.
I saw that joke.
Yeah. Sorry, I steal all my best jokes from Twitter.
Yes.
No, so Ted Kaczynski, if you're confused by the trans joke, this is legitimately true. He once went to a psychiatrist at I think the University of Washington to like start like gender transformation treatment, like gender transition, and then got too scared and mad in the waiting room and went out of the clinic deciding to like blow shit up, which is about the sort of like least infuriating interaction you can have with that sort of like system of care, I will say. And that's sourced, by the way. That's sourced to the Washington Post, who wrote about it at his trial. But yeah, Ted Kaczynski, mathematician, repressor,
Unabomber, the one, the only
enthusiastic user of the United States Postal Service.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is an unopened Unabomb on eBay for sale right now that you can buy if you want to like go out with a bang, right? Like,
do you think I wonder if the Unabomb still works though? You know, that's the thing. I would immediately try and open it.
Yeah, you would be disappointed if like the Unabomb fizzled.
Yeah, I'd be like, damn, I could, I just want to see. I just want to see if
we
it
can
works.
just build a bomb, dude. We have enough.
But that would not be a real Unibomb.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll build. I don't know. We'll just get drunk one day and just do it ourselves.
There's like an authenticity thing to it. Like, it's like a signed,
I get it. The rookie card thing. Yeah.
A Ted Kaczynski rookie card. I mean, one thing I kind of I don't want to gloss over is that I don't know if you're like supposed to say this ethically or not, but like Ted Kaczynski did die by right? And actually, you'll have to cut that because we have to fucking cut that because the last recording we did, YouTube put a big disclaimer on it for mentioning that. Bleep the word. Bleep the fucking word.
We can't do that.
You know, the way our listenership works, I don't even think it matters.
Yeah, I
guess they'll be happier with it.
I saw all of those freaks in the comments like, I clicked through a really cool disclaimer. I'm excited to hear it, you faces of death, motherfuckers. No, but like
he was also a person of interest in the Chicago Tylenol murders, which I didn't know.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, right? The point I was making with this is that he was in I like FCI or like whatever federal like medical facility Butner. Before that, he was in Florence, right? In Supermax.
Yep.
And the point I wanted to make is that Supermax is the worst form of torture we've developed that for someone without laying any hands on them.
Yep.
Fucking, we didn't put this in as a news item, and we should have. Robert Hansen also died in Florence. The guy they made the movie Breach about, noted Soviet and then Russian spy. And I just wanted to express that it is hell on earth. Like,
and no human being, no matter how heinous, deserves that. No, you're 100% correct on that. It's beyond unnecessary at some point, and this is not a joke. Like for someone like Hansen, it's like just mercy kill him, basically.
Genuinely,
you don't need. We don't need to do all this. Like
I would rather be killed than to be held in like complete isolation.
I think most
for the
people
rest
would.
Of my life.
Think most people would, and I would not blame you for it. You know, I understand the government's insatiable need to draw blood, but that's not what I fucking believe. You can just, I don't know, send him to live on a farm. He could be Ted Kaczynski's roommate. You know, you would absolutely watch a buddy comedy about Robert Hansen and Ted Kaczynski at ADX Florence. You'd absolutely fucking watch that show. Somebody write it. Noah, if you're listening.
Because like the thing is, right, there are people, I will accept, I'm not a total prison abolitionist. I accept that there are people who are too dangerous to others to be like allowed freely to like walk around.
People who like harm children, I'm kind of like, no, I'm not very sympathetic to you.
Sure, yeah. But like the thing is, if you get all of those people together in like a secure environment and then you let them interact with each other, what you think is going to happen is a kind of like Suicide Squad Magneto prison thing where they use their own strengths to like overpower the guards or whatever. That doesn't fucking happen. What happens is they don't go insane. And like that's probably a good thing. That's like good from a human rights perspective. They're not clawing their own eyes out of like sheer horror at never perceiving another human being again. You gotta fucking like solitary confinement is one of the most inhumane things in the US, and that's saying something. It's inhumane anywhere.
You're 100% correct.
The other thing you got to think about here is all the 17-year-old anarcho primitivists are going crazy over this. Oh my god!
Yeah, if you don't, the thing is, Ted Kaczynski is a leftist icon. If you don't fucking read him.
Exactly. He was this close to being. He was just a black-pilled white nationalist. Basically, he hated everybody.
He came by it honestly,
and not in the funny way, the bad way.
Yeah, like you do have to give him that. Like the spleen is like authentic, right? Like, and it's not difficult to make a critique of technology. You don't got to fucking unibomb anybody about it.
I was about to say it's not a crazy. It's not a crazy stretch to say, some aspects of technology are bad, actually.
Right.
But, okay, now what? I guess I'm going to Unabomb people about it.
But like once he was in Unabomber prison, the Unabombing was over. Like he wasn't going to Unabomb anyone else because where was he going to get his hands on the Unabomb? Right? It was purely vindictive, and I'm not even against like the existence of some kind of punishment. I'm not even against sometime vindictiveness, right? But like long after it had like ceased to have any value at all beyond just like, no, we need this guy to be in a hole suffering for the rest of his life. And it's cool that the federal government like has always had this desire to do this. We've talked about fucking Alcatraz before as an example of the feds being like, no, we gotta. I saw a movie where Jimmy Cagney scared me, so now we gotta like do this now. And yeah, Florence in particular is like it's a nightmare. I heard it described as a cleaner version of hell. So yeah, at least this one dude was not a nice person, not a good person, blew a dude's hands off. Is no longer being tortured. Yeah,
and you can read Zerzan if you want to be edgy about it. I like Zerzan, and you can. There are criticisms to be made for Zerzan as well. I just think we've had enough of society. I don't mean that in a you should technologist way. I mean, what we should do is root for the meteor.
Yes.
You didn't even need a meteor, just wait.
I was about to say.
I don't want to wait.
I don't know.
I don't want to wait for this Earth to be over. I don't want to wait to be hit by a boulder.
I don't know. I'm pretty pro society. You know, society is pretty good because it gives you things like toilet paper.
No,
I think there's
like bugs, bathe in streams, wipe with leaves. Yes,
there's a reason critiques happens here, which is society in its enormity. It provides you with lots of tortures, right? But it also provides you with lots of treats.
Yes,
I do like treats.
The treats keep coming, but also the horrors. And I for one would like to, transform that society in a more equitable way, in a quite an abrupt way. But I don't want to end the society. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna
do? Not Unabomb anyone.
Yeah, not Unabomb anyone because that didn't work.
Honestly, I got one more critique for Ted Kaczynski. You could have picked your targets a lot better, my guy.
This is true. Yeah.
There were many better symbolic targets than the ones he went after.
He just Unabombed like 3 guys.
Right? Like you could. There are. Okay. You know what? Let's move on. I'm sure the people. Let's move on.
You know what it was? He misread one thing, and he was like, the people making color printers have names and addresses,
which is true. If you've ever tried to set up a color printer,
I was about to say anti-printer action.
That's not what he was yelling about. He was just like, "Oh, this is an awful form of technological innovation that's horrifying." And it's like, yeah, man, I too hate HP drivers, but like.
Every tech person keeps 2 pieces of technology in their house: a printer and a Unabomb to blow up that printer if it ever makes any noise.
Every time I look at my printer, I'm just like, oh, you son of a whore. Like,
I would be more impressed if he were a multi-bomber. If he could have multiple bombs going off at once.
Hey, like funny.
Like multi-ball on the pinball table. You do that.
I scored 11 million on the Munsters pinball machine the other day.
Wow. Ooh.
Yeah,
where's the Munsters pinball machine?
Huh?
Where is that pinball
It's
machine?
modeled. I'll take you to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's nice. You'll like it. It's a very dark pinball. Table though. I didn't love that so much. I'm a sucker for a brightly lit table. Got some good effects, but it's like, yeah, this is very dark. I would prefer something a little brighter. But hey, speaking of the PO box, if you want to mail us a functional pinball machine.
Yeah, rather that than a Unabomb, please.
Yeah, please don't send us a Unabomb.
Yeah.
Please don't multi-bomb or Unabomb us.
Multi-bomb, Unabomb, any kind of bomb.
Yeah, we don't like bombs. Right. Well, we do, but not in that way.
In other news, the Iron Sheik died.
Yeah, this sucks.
Yeah, this one's kind of sucks. Yeah. Famous WWE heel.
hater of Hulk Hogan to the bitter end.
Yes, strong Hulk Hogan hater. Providing Iranian representation. He's Iranian, right?
Was he? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I thought, see, this was the thing. I thought this was like New Frontiers in American racism. I assumed this was like he was like just a white guy, and this was like all wrestling.
He was Iranian.
Okay.
The only Iranian champion in WWE history, having won the WWF World Heavyweight Championship in 1983.
But the only reason I know about the Iron Sheik, right, is that he sort of came back after he retired with a Twitter account that did numbers regularly.
Yeah,
it was just like his little his nephews or something,
or his managers. Yeah.
He just yelled at people, and it was good.
I kind of yeah. I mean, the Twitter presence thing is always weird to me. Like, you remember William Shatner's tweets where it was like, this is clearly not like a 900-year-old William Shatner tweeting.
Yeah,
this is sort of a Ratatouille puppeteering situation.
Keeping him sort of in the cultural zeitgeist, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. Like, obviously, we all have that service, and I haven't written a tweet myself since about 2011. But
yeah, that's true. I have my secretary do that.
Yeah,
your secretary doesn't have thumbs, and he hates you.
Yeah, I just have Milkshake write all the tweets.
Yeah.
Send more food. Kill human and send tweet. I have never been fed.
Yes.
Not even one time. I mean, I guess the thing about the Iron Sheik, right, is that it's weirdly racist but also reclaiming, because the persona is Arab, right? A thing which most Iranians are not. And on looking, I discovered that his original persona was Hussein Arab, right?
Jesus.
But on the other hand, it's like to make a wrestling heel that is flatly a racial stereotype have enough depth and staying power that people are still reading the tweets fucking 40 years later. That requires something going on, right?
Yes.
Mostly kicking the absolute shit out of Hulk Hogan, which of course we support.
Objectively good, yes.
Yeah. Also, he teamed up with a guy who once sang the Soviet national anthem on stage, which is Nikolai Volkov. So, yeah, I always enjoy sort of like Axis of Evil wrestling heel. I think it says a lot about America's psychology, which is not good.
Yeah, it's it's wrestling. It's supposed to be at least a little bit goofy.
That's true. It is very goofy.
Yeah. It is very goofy.
All right, who's next on the In Memoriam segment?
Yeah, that's true. Silvio Berlusconi died.
Oh,
yes.
R.I.P. You big fat fuck.
One last drop of his election song that Noah sent me years ago. He alone could fix it. He was the blueprint for Trump.
Sounds like youth choir.
Yeah, that sounded like some Hitler Youth shit. I didn't like that.
So Silvio Berlusconi, now he's dead, I think I can confidently say, big participant in Operation Gladio, member of the Propaganda Due Freemason Lodge, wildly corrupt, funneling money between NATO and the mafia and who knows who the fuck else. Quite probably Bernardo Provenzano's man in Rome. A symbol of the sort of like the corruption at the heart of Italian politics and Italian elites. BFFs with Gaddafi. Constant sex scandal haver. Probably a pedophile as well. We can just fucking throw that one out there. and generally a piece of shit, right? It's good that he's dead. Every Italian that I know is happy that it happened.
I'm gonna miss him.
This is the thing, though, right? Because this is where I'm going to talk about Trump and Boris Johnson to an extent, where it's the kind of thing where the corruption, he pioneered this thing after, I guess, Huey Long, where like the corruption is so out there and so open that it wraps back around. Like people get like a sort of like a Stack Overflow. And people are like, no, this is good again. This guy's funny.
This guy's a funny guy. Yeah,
he's based. He's funny. And he did have some good lines. I mean, he said that like his version of inclusivity was saying that everybody has like at least a 25% homosexual part, but mine is a lesbian.
Yeah,
which is a good line. Like bizarre, constant plastic surgery and hair transplants to try and keep himself looking young, which never worked and only made him look weirder. He once got hit in the head with a thrown model of Milan Cathedral, which broke 2 of his teeth. Just tremendously weird dude who sort of like Forrest Gumped his way through 20th century European politics, and is now at long last dead. Rest in peace.
I think he is he would be better than the current weird fascists who run Italy. Because are you gonna take the fascist with a sense of humor or the humorless fascist, which seems to be what we have now?
Well, that's sort of like that. They are a consequence of like Berlusconi-ism is the thing. And yeah, it existed before him, and like it was him who sort of like catapulted like his various parties culminating in Forza Italia and Lega Nord as well, like into this position of sort of like the far right that we see now. But at the same time, yeah, he was sort of like he was institutional, right? Which means he was the guy who did deals with the mob and to fucking cut out the left, and to like fuck over the unions and stuff. And now that he's gone, you get the sort of artless version of the same, which is crying about how Jim Carrey replied to you on Twitter with a picture of your dad upside down or whatever the fuck. Real grim.
Real grim. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's really one thing I think it is funny though is that the locus of a big part of his corruption with Provenzano, this mob boss, was in building the sort of satellite town of Milan where he built his TV empire, which was called Milan 2.
I just learned Milan that.
2.
Yes.
Milan 2, yeah. Which I really like as a sort of act of hubris is Silvio Berlusconi's cooler Milan.
I'm now trying to search for this on Google Maps. I can't find it. Milan 2.
Milan 2. I mean, Google is broken now, is the other thing.
This is true. Also, so is part of my keyboard, thanks to Milkshake.
Cat, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Milano 2, residential center in the Italian town of Segrate, built as a new town by Silvio Berlusconi's company, Edelmont. It's very walkable. He did mixed-use walkable urbanism. So critical support to Silvio Berlusconi.
This type of walkable urbanism is illegal in
it's illegal because of massive corruption in the award of all of the contracts.
Yes.
This type of mafiosi mixed-use walkable urban corruption is illegal.
Why do you hate local businesses?
Oh, this looks nice. Yeah. I like it.
It's also like all of the concrete is going through a guy called like Uncle Binu, right? But like aside from that, it's all good. Got some nice fountains.
Standing.
Yeah. Who else died?
Trump. He's dead now.
Yeah, do the thing. Yeah, Trump
Donnie
died.
from Queens.
What is this picture? Is this real?
Yeah, who is this guy?
What is going on?
Here? I was gonna put in one of the AI generated pictures where Trump was getting like swarmed by cops, like agents in the Matrix
or whatever.
Yeah, but no, this is a real picture. I don't remember where it's from, but this one's real. And Yeah, the important thing is that Donnie from Queens has died badly. He has gone out like Stan Chera. He is now dead.
He's been killed. Yeah. You know, and this is
Unibombed.
No, so basically they unsealed the indictment because he was indicted in Florida by this special master.
Yes.
And it turns out that what Donnie from Queens has been doing is keeping a bunch of highly classified documents. Some of them in the indictment, the classifications are themselves redacted, which I really like.
That's real bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, how secret is it? I also cannot tell you. And he was keeping those in a bathtub.
Yep.
Yes.
And a bathroom. And so, as I understand it, the president can declassify shit anytime he wants.
Yes.
But once he stops being president, he can't do that anymore.
Correct.
But
well, he should have declassified it right before he left office.
There was a conservative theory going around that he had meant to, and that was good enough. Or by taking it, that was clearly a declassification. Well, that is not how that process works.
Yeah.
No. It did lead to him posting a photo of all of these file boxes, as he described it, securely stored on sidewalk outside White House.
I did an ocular pat down of the situation.
Yeah, I right now am trying to get rid of some chairs by securely storing them on the sidewalk outside my building.
Yes.
With free chair written on them. So the other thing is, they got him in 4K because they got him on tape saying
twice.
Yeah, they got him saying to some people, like, audibly rustling document, like it's like rustling paper.
Hey, look at these cool documents I have. They're classified. The military
gave
them
maps
to me.
Kid Rock or something too.
He did
like
show maps of North Korea to Kid Rock.
What are you doing, man? Not like, come on. At least give what's his name? The one I hate. Fucking what's his name? The Ted Nugent. There we go.
Oh, Nugent, yeah. Yeah, no. So he was showing people these classified files.
Can't do that.
And was going, yeah, Mark Milley was saying that I wanted to declare war on Iran, but I actually didn't, and he made these for me. So actually, he's a piece of shit, but I can't tell anyone because they're classified.
You gotta just not do that.
Starting beef with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff at your shitty club / house in Florida with a document you took out of a bathtub, which is enough to get you put in Ted Kaczynski's old apartment, right? Like, and he said, like, explicitly, I could have declassified this when I was president. Probably should have done that, but so now you can't look at it. And then he shows it to a guy.
Yeah, I would also do that shit though. I mean, this is the thing. I feel like they should cut the president some slack here just for, being a human being. Hey, look at these cool classified documents I have. Yeah, I'd do that shit.
he did my favorite piece of
knock it down from 37 count, 31 counts, or however many under the
you get like
Espionage
2
Act.
for free. Yeah.
You can have, we'll take 2 off the top.
my favorite thing was his idea of OPSEC was showing a guy a classified document and then saying, don't come any closer, like stay this many steps away from me because that's classified.
Incredible. I love it.
Which
it's not classified if you're within like COVID social distancing.
It's got like AOE around it, I really like it. And the thing is, right, I know there are people listening to this podcast who have worked with classified information and who know what it's like and who know that you have to sign the thing and go through the thing and then go through the other thing and go through the like locking thing with the other thing to get into the fucking special room.
Called a skiff, Alice.
Thank you. Where you have to leave your phone outside in order to look at the thing. And what you can't usually do in those situations is call someone over from inside and say, can you just hold it up to the window and I'll stay like 5 steps away from it? So he might genuinely go to prison, which is gonna be so fucking funny because he's gonna win the nomination again.
Oh, he
maybe
is.
from prison.
From prison. He's going to have to phone into the debates. He's going to be there. You know, they're going to have a video feed of him in prison. He's going to be like, you know, he's going to be in a prison cafeteria.
Calling in from a shitty jail phone. Like they have to get like on CNN or whatever. The fucking robot voice that says you are receiving a call from federal prisoner number Donald J. Trump. Like that's gonna be
Meatball Rob. He wouldn't last a second in here.
Only
Donnie's the guy. Yeah, he's calling in from the prison cafeteria. He's flanked on one side. He's got an Aryan Brotherhood guy on the other side. He's got a Crip. He's the unity candidate because he unified federal prison in this way.
I think he could do it.
But like, at some point you're kind of rooting for it, right? Like just to see what happens.
A little bit, because the thing is, right? I want him to do the Eugene Debs thing of running from prison. I want him to lose, but I also accept that it's funnier if he wins and is then the jail president, because there's a couple of things that you would have to do, right? First of all, he's still got Secret Service protection the whole time, which leads me to imagine like the whole detail.
Just like camped out with him, just like you ever see that video of all 6 flyers in the penalty box?
Yeah, what it is they're all wearing shirts and ties, earpieces and sunglasses, but like orange jumpsuits over that.
For that,
yeah. There's like a Secret Service guy like lifting weights and shit. That's one thing.
Trump gets a bunch of prison tattoos.
He gets like the tear under one eye. So the other thing is that if he wins, they're gonna have to either like build him his own prison like Pablo Escobar, where he can be the president of jail, or they're gonna have to put some bars over the White House windows and redesignate it as like Federal Correctional Institution, the White House. And I really think they should do that. What
if he just gets really jacked in prison?
Fucking like, Rishi Sunak or whoever comes to the US on a state visit and they can't see him because Trump's like thrown a neutral loaf and he's in the
Oh, they gotta meet with Vice President, whoever the fuck it is at this point, because Trump is out of visitation
It'll be that
hours.
Brotherhood guy from earlier.
This is my vice president, Carl. No one knows his last name. Got a mononym. Yeah.
Oh,
what'd you get?
God.
The vice presidency.
It's a mononym.
The other thing is, I think Melania's getting indicted as well, and she's gonna flip on him like immediately. That's gonna set records. Like the most cooperating a witness has ever been.
You got that $20,000 bonus for most evasive testimony to Congress, but we need new things.
Still
Incredible.
got it though. Yeah.
You think they'll get McDonald's for him in prison?
Kind of hope so. The man deserves his. Well, he doesn't deserve shit, but he does deserve his treat.
The commissary, folks. It's garbage. I don't like it.
Where am I supposed to get my Diet Cokes, folks?
Yeah.
Can you believe how they're treating Donald O'Neill?
Setting a record for the
Trump all caps.
The highest commissary budget for like any federal prisoner since Bernie Madoff.
He's going to be incredibly popular in jail just because he's going to be able to get so much like nicer things for everyone. He's going to go in there. He's going to demand they replace the commissary with McDonald's, and they're going to do it for him. He's going to go in there. He's going to demand we need I don't know. We need Diet Cokes. Everyone's going to get Diet Cokes. It's going to be fantastic.
But the thing is, too, like, all the guards are going to be like, yes, sir, Mr. Trump, it's an honor, sir. Like, it's incredible.
Well, they were crying when they arrested him.
Yes, you saw how mad they were to arrest him. And it's like, Oh, this is torture for both of you. I enjoy that a great deal.
Yeah, I could slurp that up like a slushy.
Yeah. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for Donald Trump to be president from prison. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be some of the funniest, some of the funniest shit that's ever happened.
Yeah, because you can't pardon yourself. You can't do it. Like,
goddamn, he's not gonna try.
This is legitimately the funniest thing, right? Is the only thing that can keep him out of pound me in the ass federal prison is Ron DeSantis getting elected president. He is the only person who can stop Ron DeSantis from getting elected president, and he's gonna do it.
This is the funniest and worst timeline. I want to be very clear on that. We'll let that fun.
Oh my god.
I'm excited. This is incredible. Yeah, I don't know where to go from there.
Next news.
I am still interested to know who this fiddler on the roof guy is here.
Yeah, if you know who Tevye there is, please let us know.
Oh, don't be anti-Semitic.
He looks like the guy.
I know
from
he
Fiddler
does.
on the Roof.
Oh, is this Jerry Falwell Jr.?
Oh Christ!
Is this Falwell Jr.?
I don't like that.
Why is Trump wearing what appears to be like a Canadian maple leaf pin?
Maybe not. That's
to like sort of pay tribute to the humble forest fire starters of the province.
Where did you get this photo?
I don't know. Google.
Maybe
it is fucking AI. I don't know.
Donald Trump. Did you just search Trump? I gotta track this down now.
I think I searched Trump arrested.
You could use reverse image search.
I could, but I'm too late.
And it came up with all of the like fucking like news results, and this was one of the fucking images they were using to illustrate the news results. Was this?
Oh man! All right, I'm just gonna. All right, you two carry on. I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
I'm not leaving. I just need this photo.
Hi, it's Justin. So this is a commercial for the podcast that you're already listening to. People are annoyed by these, so let me get to the point. We have this thing called Patreon, right? The deal is you give us $2 a month, and we give you an extra episode once a month. Sometimes it's a little inconsistent, but it's $2. You get what you pay for. It also gets you our full back catalog of bonus episodes, so you can learn about exciting topics like guns, pickup trucks, or pickup trucks with guns on them. The money we raise through Patreon goes to making sure that the only ad you hear on this podcast is this one. Anyway, that's something to consider if you have $2 to spare each month. Join at patreon.com/WTYP pod. Do it if you want. Or don't. It's your decision, and we respect that. Back to the show.
In other news,
in memoriam.
In memorial for Interstate 95, which collapsed 2 days ago.
I hear there are truthers about this, right? Because the official narrative, the US government would have you believe that someone parked a tanker truck that was on fire.
They did some pretty evil stuff, and the Twitter accounts responsible for it all blocked me when I called them out on it.
But someone...
There was a tanker truck on fire underneath an overpass on the I-95 Delaware Expressway. It was on fire for a while. One of the overpasses collapsed. The other one is sagging enough that it will have to be replaced.
Yep.
This is a brand new stretch of interstate, by the way. But yeah, this is, it shut down I-95, and lots of people are saying, oh my God, it's either some kind of conspiracy, because, oh my God.
15-minute cities,
Yeah, it's a 15-minute city. We're gonna destroy freeway infrastructure. The thing is, if you were like, I want to take out some critical highway infrastructure, this is not the place to do it. because there
and
are
there
at
will be a
least
list of the places to do that appearing on your screen now.
yes. I would say if you wanted to take out 95, you'd probably do that somewhere in Maryland.
Yeah, you'd think, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but the thing here is there's like 3 parallel interstates, because you got 95, but then you got 295, and you have the Jersey Turnpike, and you have the Roosevelt Boulevard.
Which is
so
not an interstate, but it acts like it.
Yeah, it acts like it. Yeah, but so this is lots and lots of parallel routes around this thing. But people have been panicking because, oh my God, 95 is down. It's going to destroy the nation's economy, or it's going to destroy commutes into Philly. I don't believe it has done either of those things.
Yeah, but on the other hand, no one's seen a big crushed, like squished flat tanker truck under this. So that
this
means
is true. Yes,
it was a controlled detonation.
Yeah, because there's no way that a 70-foot tractor trailer could fit underneath a 94-foot wide interstate overpass.
That people are genuinely like truthing about this, if I can make that a word.
Yes,
along
it's also
the lines of,
it's right next to Four Seasons Total Landscaping too.
Oh shit! It was Giuliani.
Yeah, Giuliani did it.
Giuliani escaping from a burning tanker truck in the middle of the night. There is video, by the way. I've seen video of people like driving over this overpass while it's burning,
while it's on fire, and there's like
with
visible sag in the road. Yeah.
What? I genuinely feel sometimes as if the northeastern United States is one big conspiracy to get the air quality as low as possible, like sort of min-maxing for lungs. Like it genuinely, I don't understand it. But yeah, so
you gotta get the shot,
critical support to the urbanist cell responsible for this act of deep green sabotage.
Yeah, Alan Fisher went out there with sort of a cadre of radical urbanists and took the thing out. Yeah.
Yeah, this type of fucking degrowth is actually illegal. In most places.
All right, so I think this is Mark Wayne Mullen, who is a senator from Oklahoma, and there's a video of him getting his ass cooked by the AFL-CIO.
Oh, cool.
All right, that took a long time. Sorry about it.
Yes.
Hi, I'm back.
That's all right. No, I understand the drive to like go and do some research into these things. I get it completely.
We don't have I-95 at the moment, and
don't need it. Adds weight.
Doesn't really seem to have affected anything. Yeah, that's the big one.
People are shitting their pants, but yeah. SEPTA could have used it.
Traffic is real.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a lot of Crittenden. I noticed that a few people were on the roads. I do think, in respect to not having to go back to the office, hopefully this will slow companies down. It probably won't, from making people go back to the office for no fucking reason.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one thing I will say is that, like, if we know about induced demand, right? We know that if you build a new lane, more people drive on it to fill it. Stands to reason, the logical corollary, you demolish those lanes, people don't drive on them. So
that is reduced demand, actually. Yes. Yeah. But that is a genuine thing
instead of by accident.
By accident, yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous that mainline 95 goes through Philly in the first place.
It is.
That whole thing should
now, though, man.
It should just be the turnpike. They should just put everyone on the turnpike instead of going straight through Center City. And then I guess the other thing here is, SEPTA may be increasing services. I'm not sure how they're going to do that. I mean, they started. I know that they've beefed up service on the Trenton line to compensate, and the way they did that was to shut down the Kenwood line entirely.
As you do.
And then this has gotten discussions about the Roosevelt Boulevard subway going a little more intensely, which is a good thing.
Yeah, they are looking at that as an alternative, so that's good news.
Yeah,
build some public transport.
You build some public transportation. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see. I hope they do it. I hope they do a Roosevelt Boulevard subway, but also be interesting to see how they'll fuck it up.
Oh, they will, which they will. Yeah. Let's be very clear on that.
But yeah, R.I.P. to I-95.
Yeah, I think I got one more piece of news, maybe.
Yes. And this is going to take several months to fix, probably. That's going to be
minimum, yeah.
Yeah, at a minimum. Everything will go back to being terrible afterwards. Don't worry.
Your regularly scheduled service of everything being terrible.
Yeah,
regularly
don't worry, you'll be
scheduled.
able to drive your car into Center City again and then spend 45 minutes searching for parking. Don't worry, you will have
about
that
it,
back.
like the people who actually live here give a shit about you or anything. Do you pay wage tax? Well, I guess they would, but
they do pay wage, but they pay less wage tax than we do.
We do. Yeah, well,
Anyway.
moving swiftly on.
It happened. It finally happened. This one's just for me, pretty much. So
it's Scott Paul time.
Look at her face.
It is. So Scotland has some quite strict contempt of court laws, so I'm somewhat limited in what I can say, unlike you two. But essentially, for a good few months now, Police Scotland have been doing this investigation into how the Scottish National Party, which is our sort of like centre-left pro-Scottish independence party, which has been the party of Scottish politics for the last 15 years, like literally achieved a majority multiple times in a parliament that was specifically designed not to do that. But what they did was they raised, they crowdfunded £660,000 from their members, from the general public, for independence, like for a new referendum campaign, right? And then what happened to that money is now the subject of a police investigation. The police have seized, they've been in the SNP headquarters with little like drain cameras. They've seized a motorhome, like an RV, like a luxury camper van, which frankly does not look that luxury. Maybe we can get a picture of it up on screen. It's like £100,000 RV, and it looks like shit, to be honest.
You showed me a picture of it, and I was like, that's not a cool RV.
No, it wasn't very good.
It's not like, I think if you spend £100,000 on an RV, you should get the thing where it like unfolds on the side to like double the width, and like you get a couple of like dirt bikes out of the side. You should get like a Lego playset fucking RV for £100,000. Like, if nothing else, that's the real crime. Is, you know, they got ripped off buying that RV. But I think the idea with the RV was that they were going to use it as like a campaign bus, which it wouldn't even have worked very well as, because it like sleeps too. And it's like, it's big, but it's not like an actual bus either. It's just like a big van. Anyway, that's been RV chat.
Yes.
But
it's not very good.
Yeah, so what actually happened is that they arrested the treasurer of the SNP. They arrested the former secretary of the SNP, and now they've arrested the former secretary's wife, the former first minister, I guess president, if you like, of Scotland for like a decade, Nicola Sturgeon, seen here. And this is like seismic, you know, like this is not really what's supposed to happen, because she was this huge influence in Scottish politics. And I can sort of describe her vibe as being like, we're going to do moderate Nordic style social democracy, I guess. Which does not really pair with everybody gets arrested, you know? Like, that's supposed to happen in the Scandi, like, cop dramas. That's not supposed to happen in the Scandi government. You know, so everybody, they've released everybody who they arrested without charge, like, while they investigate further. And you can sort of, like, ascribe political motivations to that if you want. But in the meantime, all this really means is that, like, in political terms, another route out has been closed. You know, like, if you wanted a government in any part of the UK that was like gonna maybe take some interest in making your life better, you could have had like a Corbynist kind of quasi-socialism that was rapidly shut down. You could have had Scottish nationalism that was somewhat more slowly shut down. If the Greens ever do anything that threatening, I'm sure they will be too. And now you're here forever. You know, you're just locked in, and everything's going to be they're going to hand all of those seats over at the next election to the Scottish Labour Party, who are dog shit, always embarrassing or embarrassing under Corbyn and Richard Leonard. There is no better politics out there. It's just this forever.
Hey, Northern Independence Party, though.
Listen, I'm sure if they ever got that electorally interesting, they would be going through their accounts with a fine-tooth comb. The thing is, I don't sympathize with the SNP in general. I generally feel a lot of spite towards them, both because I sort of have a philosophical disagreement with Scottish independence, because I hate the way that they kick the can down the road on trans rights long enough for it to become a culture war issue, and also because they're not as progressive as they think they are. Like a party where 40% of the membership votes for a leader who wants to make same-sex marriage illegal is not a meaningfully progressive party in a lot of ways.
This is true.
But even so, to see them collapse this abruptly,
it's kind of surprising. Yeah,
it's genuinely, it's very surprising, and I don't really know what to do with it other than to look at it and go, oh damn, that's crazy, which thankfully is all I can say about it because of the Contempt of Court Act.
Yeah, you'll be arrested. You can't do anything fun anymore.
These days, if you say you're Scottish, you are arrested and thrown in jail
instantly. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And I guess what's really funny is we have now come up on 2 consecutive former first ministers getting arrested.
I love Scotland.
Yeah. This is not the kind of government we wanted to be having,
They put something in a haggis.
Listen, if Humza Yousaf decides that he's going to start building Glasgow 2 outside of town,
Glasgow 2, yes.
Isn't that just really Edinburgh?
Oh, we'll start some fights with that one. I think Glasgow 2 might be like Cumbernauld or like East Kilbride, maybe. Which may also start some fights.
Like that weird new town that has like the big mall in the middle.
Yeah. Which they're now demolishing the town center, so they're just not going to have any public services now.
Incredible, because it's ugly or something, right?
because it's ugly, and it is ugly, and it is miserable, but it's also where all the stuff is. And the expectation now that Cumbernauld is gentrifying is you buy like an expensive new build, and then you just fucking drive out of town to like a big box store, and you get your shit there. You don't need a post office in the middle of town. You don't need anything that you can't like drive into Glasgow for.
Sure.
So get fucked. Which again sort of feels like Scottish politics as a whole. That's where we are. I think it's a little embarrassing that I had to do a Scottish politics update on the Engineering Disasters podcast before I got to do one on the UK Politics podcast. But that's the way that UK media crumbles sometimes.
Exactly. Man, houses here look weird. Lots of really small windows.
Oh,
concrete blocks. Cumbernauld, yeah.
Yeah, now imagine that in like 27-degree weather.
Oh my God.
You will understand why, despite like wearing shorts. I have a leather chair. I am stuck to this fucking chair. If I ever try to move, it's going to take like 3 layers of skin off with it. Anyway, that's me. That's my Scottish politics update. That's all I wanted to say about that. So thank you.
That's the Scott Paul update. And then, that was the goddamn news.
Immediately into safety third.
Directly into safety third.
Shake hands with danger.
Incredible. Hello, Justin. Go, Alice. Yay, Liam. Welcome, possible guest, and thank you, Devin.
Wrong.
I like Go Alice. What's up, Alice Nation?
Yes. I am writing you in regards to your most recent episode on the Crazy Eights incident. I feel that your discussion about portable derails would be rather remiss without at least one story about the first step to prevent unwanted railcar movement, the portable wheel chock.
Oh, okay.
I'm here to tell you that portable wheel chocks do not work.
Oh.
Okay. First line of defense is no line at all.
Once upon a time in the wild reaches of 2014, I was working on a rail grinder for the summer, which may or may not be extremely similar to that scene in the attached picture.
Plausible
Here.
deniability. Love to see it.
Yes. Just for the sake of those who don't know, a rail grinder has one job only, to grind rails.
What is it? Why are we grinding rails?
You grind rails in order to maintain them to a constant profile so that trains can run on them better.
Ah, okay.
Mhm.
Yes. Sort of it fixes some of the wear and tear. Now, dispatch would claim otherwise and say our only job is to obstruct traffic.
Oh, okay. Guess we don't really need rails to run
Yeah.
trains. That's
Exactly,
really.
right? The grinder, which is properly called a machine and not a train, is about 600 feet long, weighs 1,000 tons, comprises of a cab and power car, a water car, 4 grind cars, a slug water car, another water car, a
Jeez.
power
Oh.
car, and a cab and crew car.
Big honking machine.
Yes, and is quite frankly the biggest pain in the ass for any sane person to maintain. The only way to make
Lovely.
it worse would be to remove the air conditioning.
Oh no.
I was working on the machine just for the summer, and one particular day, the ops crew stored the machine at a place that may or may not be laid out very much like Quinnamont, West Virginia.
Yeah, don't get too close to this map. 5 steps away.
As a side note, driving in West Virginia is fucking suicidal.
It's not that bad.
The machine was placed on the south leg of the Y, which happens to be on a roughly 3% grade. So down here-ish.
Mm-hmm.
The air brakes were applied, hand brakes were tied down on all cars, portable derail and wheel chock applied, blue flag safety installed. Blue safety flag.
Yeah, okay.
So you have a blue flag that you attach to the train, and you cannot move that equipment until the person who put the flag on takes the flag off.
Oh, you lock out, tag out a train?
yeah,
Cool.
Yes. So the maintenance crew, of which I was part of, ran a fire hose down to the creek next to the track and began pumping water into the water cars. Now, this is an all-night task. No water means no grinding. Why do we need water? Grinding rails makes lots of sparks, which can then set the countryside ablaze. Side note, this is called a smoker. A smoker might be several acres in size, but it's not a fire, a term which is reserved for flames aboard the machine itself, a scenario which is automatically escalated to company president. So, they have
sense of proportion here.
They have a firefighting car on the back of the rail grinding train is the big thing. They spray the water. One time I was riding my bike up.
Did you get showered?
Yeah, I got sprayed by the rail grinding train on the bridge over MLK Boulevard.
Right. Did you deserve it?
Well, I was taking a picture of the rail grinding train. Maybe they didn't like it.
Yeah, you kind of like felt like wildlife photography,
Yeah, exactly.
Startled your prey.
Yeah, I got, you get sprayed with the must,
The must.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't mated yet.
Recall I mentioned the machine weighs 1,000 tons, and that's fully loaded with water, fuel, grindstones, spare parts, and a happy crew. Each of the water cars...
All right.
Yeah, an unhappy crew weighs more.
Yeah. Each of the water cars holds 25,000 gallons. Multiply that by 3, and you get 300 tons of water on the machine, and it takes a while to pump that much water.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the shift, we were working 7 to 12. It is time to do a brake check, which involves having one person on the ground, or is it 7 to 12 hours? I'm not sure. Okay. Anyway, it's time to do the brake check, which involves having one person on the ground checking the brake contact and piston travel, and another up top cranking on the handbrakes. It has been a long time since, and I've forgotten the procedure for testing the brakes, but we started on the rear of the machine and worked our way forward. On the walk back, one of the steps we have to do is release each handbrake once to ensure the mechanism works. We were at the second water car, which is not the slug water car. I'm assuming the slug water car is a water car that has traction motors on it, so it applies some tractive force. I don't know that, though. Near the back of the machine, we release the handbrake, and the car starts pushing the wheel chock. My coworker up top starts cranking on the handbrake, but it takes several motions to engage the brake at all. So the water car, with its 100 tons of water, pulls against the power car and the crew car with their brakes set, pushes against the slug car, 4 grind cars, another water car, and cab car with the brakes set, continues to roll downhill against the wheel chock. The wheel chock then decided to shatter, like the cast steel piece of shit it was.
Oh, no.
The errant water car 2 continued on down the line for about 3 more feet before the handbrake took hold. Take note, these cars are not coupled together. They were drawbarred together, so there's next to no draft gear to take up the slack.
So if they hadn't, like, you know, engaged the handbrake that much, it's just gone then.
Mm-hmm. It's off on its merry way, yes.
What? Did they fucking 3D print these? Why?
Well, the chock was of a cast portable locking design. I couldn't find it on the internet, so here is a McMaster car page.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got these from an anarchist collective.
Needless to say, I was quite spooked. Recall that this is a grinder, is a pain in the ass to maintain, and requires a significant amount of crawling around under the machine, around the wheel and the rail and wheel sets, and getting right up close and with active hydraulics. All that was required for the machine to move a lethal distance, had anyone been under the machine, was the release of only a single brake, and the one device intended to directly protect against that had rapidly disassembled along lines that were not part of the fabrication process.
That's real bad. Wait.
In short,
No,
a wheel chock designed to prevent the movement of at least one rail car failed to prevent the movement of at least one rail car when aided by the collective resistance of 9 additional brake sets on rail cars.
That's like a 19th century level of like steel manufacturing quality. Like if it just fucking shatters.
That's bad, right?
It just like instantly fails.
What do you? Can you do anything about that? Can you like tell them to not buy?
You had one job.
Literally. Oh, and the job was just sit there, do nothing,
Yeah.
be inert in one location.
Well,
Like there isn't a specification for these. They don't.
Nope, fuck you.
Nope, just don't work.
So okay,
It's
cool.
incredible.
I mean, sometimes I feel like that too.
Sometimes you can just buy things and they don't work.
Yeah, we got the wish.com fucking
I got it off
of
of Alibaba.
It's just made of tin, it's just pot metal.
It's actually a plastic casting with some shiny paint on it. To this day, despite volunteering with a railroad museum that may or may not be host to a coal-powered movie star, I have never been as filthy as I was working on that grinder. I could entertain you with other stories about the mechanisms or persons involved, but those can keep for another time. Thank you for technological enlightenment and general improvement in my engineering judgment. Stay out of trouble. From Name Withheld.
Thank you, Name Withheld.
Yeah, stay out of trouble yourself, Jesus.
P.S. I noticed something missing from the Crazy Eights episode. Liam didn't have any actionable threats that needed censoring. It felt odd in that it needed mentioning.
I'll come
All
to
right,
your
one
house.
for the road, Liam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And not only will I you up, what I'll do is I'll wave you around like a flag so that your neighbors see what's happened to you, and I will defend my now stolen property with halberds. I've squared the circle. Yeah, so protect trans kids with halberds. You heard it here first.
That's right. Safety third.
Yep, that was safety third.
Shake hands with danger. Shake hands with
The
Liam.
next episode will be on Chernobyl. Does anyone have any commercials before we go?
Trash Future. Kill James Bond. Subscribe to the Patreon. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We almost have our plaque.
Yeah, we're getting there.
I was about to say we're getting close. We got to get.
I had to explain that one to Corinne, and I was just like, "How do you not know what this is?" She's like, "Oh, that's cute. You get a little plaque," and I'm just like, "We're very serious. I want the plaque, right? Yeah.
I want my grown-up participation trophy.
Me too,
Yes.
Alice.
Tell everyone you know. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's my commercial.
Raise the dead to do it. We don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that
Whoa,
bell button.
whoa,
Smash
whoa,
that
whoa.
motherfucking like button.
Chernobyl gone sexual? Gone wrong, parentheses.
Uber driver sucked me off.
Yes. Yeah. This is where we put the big soy face image of us if we had one.
Sure,
Or
somebody
title
on the internet has been mean enough to make that for us.
Oh god.
Yep,
Please
that'll do
don't.
it.
Please don't think of me.
All right. That was the goddamn news.
And what? That was safety third, dude.
The whole episode was the goddamn news.
news.